Well, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday. It is October the 27th, and I'm Chris Allen, and this is your 270 weather. Weather for the 270 area code and beyond. And we're really going to take it beyond tonight because way outside of the 270 is Hurricane Melissa. And unfortunately, as I mentioned last night, this is going to be a storm of huge proportion and maybe not only historic, but also catastrophic. If everything goes the way the National Hurricane Center is projecting this storm to go, it is going to be one of the worst tropical systems, hurricanes in the Atlantic basin ever, maybe. I know Katrina, is way up there. Andrew, a long time ago. You've got a lot of previous hurricanes that have that stature to it that could rank in the top five of the strongest and most devastating hurricanes. But Melissa, I think, is going to come close, if not get into that top five. Right now, it is still just outside of Jamaica and winds 175. Can you imagine? 175 mile per hour winds. So it is something that is just awful. It's incredible to think about what is going on with that storm, but we'll take a look at it here in just a moment. Before we do that, you can see the headlines down at the bottom of the screen, and it mentions the latest on Hurricane Melissa, plus a little synopsis of our forecast that's going to continue for this week. Well, let's go to, I'll move these things out of the way and we'll go to the numbers for today. Back here in the 270, we saw a high today, if you can really call it a high temperature, of just 58 degrees, 10 degrees cooler than the normal of 68. And we had a low of 53, only a 5 degree difference between the high and the low for today. But look at that rainfall, 82 hundredths of an inch of rain. Some of you picked up well over an inch, and really that number doesn't completely tell the whole story because you add in some other rain that we picked up on Sunday, and for a 24-hour period, we're right at an inch, maybe even a little bit above that. I'll check some of the Kentucky Mesonet numbers here in just a moment. But first, a word from our sponsor, R&R Controls. And, this is timely in that we're talking about the hurricane. Now, naturally, we do not have hurricanes here in the 270 or anywhere in Kentucky. We do not get hurricanes. We will never really get hurricanes. We can have a remnant of a hurricane. Ira comes to mind. There's different ones where, Helen, there's different ones where through the years, a remnant of a storm, even Katrina, the remnants of Katrina came through here and knocked out power and did some devastation, threw in some heavy rain. I mean, with any tropical system that forms in the Gulf or in the Atlantic or even the Caribbean, the remnants of that system can come right up through Kentucky. So when that happens, well, a lot of us have downed trees and we lose power. How would it feel if you never had to lose power? That would be something incredible. Well, Generac, of course, makes all kinds and sizes of generators for your home and for your business. And the folks at R&R Controls know how to install and service and maintain your Generac generator. And they've got a couple of deals going on right now. Even if you did not buy your Generac generator from R&R Controls, they will maintain it for you. Preventative maintenance. In other words, they will set up a schedule where they come out every so often, fire that generator up, make sure that everything is working as it should, so that when the power goes off, it comes on within seconds and it works as it's supposed to. If you've got a business and you depend on that business to run even during times of bad weather, you're going to need a generator. And they can tell you what size kilowatt generator from Generac that you're going to need. So give them a call, set something up. And like I said, even if you have a Generac generator, but you didn't buy it from R&R Controls, give them a call anyway, because they'll come out and they'll take a look and they'll do preventative maintenance on it and get it ready for the winter. This winter looks like it could be one of those in which we're all going to need a generator. And there's financing too. See right above me? That's the Generac credit card. You can get financing. It's the backup power for your backup power. And right now, through November 7th, Generac is having a sales event where you get a free 10-year warranty with your new generator. So give R&R Controls a call and get something set up. 270-777-2024. Again, 270-777-2024. With R&R Controls, you'll never be without. All right, let's go to, oh my goodness, look at that incredible monster, Hurricane Melissa. And it's got such a nice name, but there's nothing nice about this storm. Look at the symmetry of the eye wall, which earlier today, National Hurricane Center sends out reconnaissance planes. They fly into, or try to fly into the storm and take a look at the eye wall and everything else that's going on. They send radiosondes, their little detectors, if you will, to measure air pressure and humidity and everything about the storm. It measures, they can drop them in there and it can measure everything and send that signal back to the National Hurricane Center. They tried to do that this afternoon, and that storm was there was so much turbulence that the reconnaissance plane had to come back. They couldn't finish their reconnaissance mission. That's how powerful this storm is. And when you look at it like this, and just to see how incredible yet majestic it is. I mean, it's just sitting there spinning. Now, one thing that we have all noticed, including the National Hurricane Center, of late with this storm, is it has yet to make that turn off to the north and east. That has not happened yet. In fact, it's been going a little further west. What does that mean? That means that, well, first of all, it's got a mind of its own, and it's still drifting like at 3 miles per hour to the west, and maybe a little northwest. But we're still expecting it to make that turn off to the north and east once we get uh, into the next, say, 24 hours. And here is Jamaica. Let me put the draw on here once again. This is Jamaica. Okay. So you can see how close it is. Many of you know Jamaica because you've been there for vacation, or maybe you've got a trip planned there. I would not have a trip right now. And the problem is that if this thing does make that turn off to the north and east, right across Jamaica, who knows what's going to be left after Melissa crosses. Now, I will show you a couple of things here. We do have, thanks to weather-wise, a few cameras. Yes, we have cameras there. We can take a look and see what's going on. Here is Kingston, and you can see it is raining, but it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot going on. I mean, a lot of people have been either evacuated or have been trying to find a way off of Jamaica, because this, as you can see, there's these, if the winds were picking up, we would see these traffic lights swinging right there. But you're looking at Barbican. This is inside Jamaica in Kingston. Okay. Let's go to another camera. This in Flat Bridge, St. Catherine. There's the flat bridge. We're getting rain, but look, the trees are not even swaying yet. Not yet, but it's going to happen. The rain's going to pick up too. Let's go a little bit further west. This is downtown Maypen, and you can see the rain is coming down. Somebody's actually panning the camera. Here's the thing, you know, if you've been to Jamaica, I have not, but if you've been to Jamaica, I've had friends that have been there. You know, the infrastructure and the structures themselves, buildings, homes, businesses, they are not up to the standards that we have here in the United States. And you can see the rain, see it right there. It's coming down kind of sideways. So that means the winds have picked up, certainly. So if those winds of 175 miles per hour come in and they hit these buildings and infrastructure directly, it's going to be just so devastating, unimaginable. Let's go south of Montego Bay. A lot of you have been there. This is Little London, they call it. Westmoreland. This is not Westmoreland, Tennessee. This is Westmoreland in Jamaica. They call it Little London. But you can see, I mean, look at all the structures here. There's little trailers. There's just these little tiny structures. There's not really buildings, so to speak. There's just not a lot there that would survive a Category 5 hurricane. The winds there have not picked up yet. The rains have. But you see, there's still people out and about. There goes, cars. About an hour ago, I saw people riding bicycles down this street. So, this is just going to be so incredibly devastating unless something changes, unless something turns. And really, prayers need to go up for these people because it is that critical of a situation. And I really don't see too much of a way out of it. This is going to be one of those situations that is going to be for the record books, and we're going to hear a lot about it through history. I'm afraid the way it looks, and you can see behind me, on one of my monitors behind me, the Weather Channel has been on this all afternoon and evening as it just continues to strengthen and show signs of strengthening. I mean, that eye wall, as symmetric as it is, as perfect as it is, just signifies that it's still not done increasing in strength. It's still doing it. It's still going through the process. It's just awful. So we'll keep an eye on that. It should reach the Outer Banks of Jamaica sometime tomorrow morning. That slow movement, though, is just going to be awful. If it were a fast moving storm, it would actually be maybe a little better. But with the slow movement, that means incredible flooding and storm surge. We've got all these little bays here in Jamaica. I'll put them back on there or draw. All these little inlets, like right here and right into Kingston, where the storm surge is going to just go right into those bays. And that's where you could see, 15 feet of storm surge coming in. That could be not only devastating, but it could be, life-threatening. Everyone's life on Jamaica right now is threatened by this storm. So, yeah. And you look at it from a distance. Here's Cuba. Here's Haiti, Dominican Republic. And I mean, look how far some of the blow off of the clouds are and the moisture. Just really, really incredible. So that's the latest on Melissa. Now, I will tell you, in case you don't know or are aware how hurricanes work. As I mentioned, hurricanes do not come through Kentucky. Remnants can, but it does not appear that the remnants of Melissa will even affect the mainland of the United States, at least as we see it right now. Okay. Here is a look at the radar imagery back here at home in the 270. We still have this little line of showers that have been moving through pretty much all day, producing the showers that we have seen thus far. And right now at 6:54 p.m. on this Monday evening, you're still getting rain on the east side of Warren County, all the way up to Brownsville and Litchfield, and then into Ohio County, parts of Butler County. And then there's another surge coming in toward Edmonton and Columbia and Burkesville and Albany. We're going to continue to get these surges of moisture as we go through the next 24 hours. I don't think we're going to see as much rain tomorrow as we have today. The models are indicating we get somewhat of a break, but there's going to be an area of low pressure that sits right over the 270 by Tuesday night into Wednesday, and it's going to ramp up the rain chances once again. No thunderstorms, no severe weather. This is all just going to be your ordinary rain, but lots of it. All right, let's move on to the Kentucky Mesonet Network. And as you saw, temperatures have not moved much today. We're still in the 50s, where we started pretty much this morning. We started out in the low 50s, and we're just only in the mid 50s. Temperatures have really not moved. In fact, as we look at the high temperatures, mid 50s, and then the low temperatures, low 50s. Like I said, there's only like a 5 degree spread between today's high and the low temperature because of the clouds and the rain today. How much rain? Let's go since midnight. Pretty impressive stuff here. Here is the Kentucky Mesonet sensor at the Corvette plant, 1.06. Almost that much down at the Ag Expo Center sensor. Then you go over to Barron County, about 3/4 of an inch. You go over to Metcalfe County, right at an inch, a little bit over that. There's Burkesville, 1.07. You get 1.11. That's in Greensburg, in Greene County. Then you go up to Campbellsville, just over an inch there. Close to an inch in Columbia, in Adair County. Almost an inch down in Clinton County, Albany. 3/4 of an inch up in Hartford and Ohio County. Almost 8/10 of an inch of rain in Morgantown and Butler County. 3/4 of an inch exactly, Russellville, Logan County. So impressive rainfall as the feed here has been out of the east southeast and has been pretty much just sitting over us all day with light rain. And there's more of that to come. Winds right now are out of the east and northeast, but fairly light, from calm to about 5 miles per hour. Let's look ahead, and projected rainfall still shows us with anywhere from I-65 east, some 2-inch rainfall amounts or more. There could be some of you that pick up another 2.5 inches of new rainfall on top of what you've already received. And the primary area that is going to get the additional rain is going to be from Bowling Green east and northeast. That's where the better setup for additional rains are going to be. But really, everybody's going to pick up at least another inch, 1.5 inches, if you don't make another 2 inches. But some of you will get that much more in the coming days. Let's go to the maps. You can see how things are looking this evening. There's a disturbance over the area in which has produced the rain, but I see a break back here, especially during the day tomorrow. We'll wake up in the morning. I think there will be, where it's not raining, we could see some fog. And here's why. These little troughs, these little disturbances tend to push in a little bit of warm air. So there's warm air overrunning over the top of the cool, damp, wet ground. That's a perfect setup for fog. So just be advised that overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, some of you may be waking up to some fairly dense fog. And maybe a little bit of light rain, as this is showing here. Here we go into Tuesday afternoon, or actually Tuesday morning, scattered light rain showers. Tuesday afternoon, same thing. But here comes another big surge of energy, another piece of energy that is going to move in by Tuesday night into Wednesday with some heavier rain. As you can see here, it makes its move into western Kentucky by 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Here we go, 7 a.m. Wednesday. Here comes the low. The low is going to travel right across parts of Tennessee and southern Kentucky, and the winds are going to pick up as well. So expect some heavy rain Wednesday into Wednesday night. By Thursday morning, that low will be in Virginia, and we will get just kind of the throwback, as you can see, wraparound moisture coming back into Kentucky. So we're going to keep showers in the forecast at least through Thursday until that low pressure system moves away, which it will by Friday. And here comes a cold front with breezy and cooler conditions on Friday. Friday is Halloween, but all the rain should be gone by the time you go out trick or treating. Um, by, say, Friday late afternoon into the evening hours, it's going to be chilly. It's going to be breezy as skies clear. So just plan on it. Plan on a chilly, chilly breeze in the air Friday evening. And look at this. You see this? This is over in West Virginia near the Allegheny Mountains, or in the Allegheny Mountains. Look at this. This is a mix, a precipitation mix. How about that? Yeah, I mean, that's over toward the Monongahela. Is that how you say it? Monongahela. The Oak Ridge Boys did a song about the Monongahela River. But anyway, so there you go. Yeah, there could be little ice pellets mixed in with the rain Friday morning in some of the Allegheny and maybe the Shenandoah Mountains, West Virginia, Virginia. Isn't that crazy? Hey, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to that time when this is going to show up a little bit more. So let's go to Saturday morning. Everything is cleared out. First day of November is going to be chilly. Here comes another system, another low pressure system that is going to drop in pretty much in the same area as the previous low pressure system. And with it will come another chance of rain by Sunday and Monday. And another cold front right behind it. Nick, it's just, they just keep coming. How about the blender? The model blender showing some really chilly, chilly air. You've been waiting for it. We've all been waiting for it. And now it is here. 50s and 60s. Nothing any warmer than that. It may get close to 70 by November the 6th. That's next Thursday, not this Thursday. But that's it. And look at these lows. We're looking at some frost again, probably on a few of these nights as we get down into the mid 30s, some 40s, and low 50s. But this is what October should look like, the end of October. Here is Friday, Halloween, high of 61 and a low of 39. So like I said yesterday, if you were watching, if you're going out for trick or treating, temperatures will most likely be in the mid 40s with a stiff breeze that's going to make it feel even colder than that. All right. So it's coming. It's going to be, that's how it's going to be as we head into the upcoming weekend. And this is also the weekend we, of course, change the clocks back 1 hour for daylight saving time as it comes to a close. Okay. I think I've covered everything. I don't think there's anything else that we really need to pay attention to, except I will say this morning, there were numerous accidents. Some, or at least one, was fatal on I-65. And the weather, I think, played a role because it was foggy and it was raining. There's a lot of standing water on the roadways with the rain that had come down. And I just think people are just not slowing down. I'm not saying that was the cause of that particular accident, but there were a number of accidents, not just here in Bowling Green, but around. And a lot of them were caused by the roads, the condition of the roads. You don't have to have ice or snow for it to be slick, especially if it hasn't rained in a while. And I think just people are going too fast, too fast. We cannot go the speed limit when it rains like this. And there's water standing, ponding on the pavement, and you hit one of those ponds and you lose grip of your steering wheel, and then all of a sudden you're out of control. It's called hydroplaning. And it happens almost every time we have rain like this. And it just really upsets me so much, because it's just, there are some people that just will not pay attention. They do not listen. They think it's okay, and they've got good tires, and their car can handle this or that, and they can still go 70 miles per hour or even higher down the interstate and the parkways, and it'll be fine. All it takes is one time when you lose control, and then you can't get it back on the pavement, and then things go wrong. Horribly wrong. Fatally wrong. Just please, just slow down. It's just not worth. I don't want you to become a news story, okay? And please wear your seatbelts. I know I sound like an old grandpa, and I am. I sound like an old grandpa's like, you, Sonny, you better slow down. Put on that seatbelt now, but really, we got to do it. We got to do it. There's just way too many people that are losing control while driving in weather like this. And in the morning, there will most likely be dense fog on top of the wet pavement. And that's going to make visibility even worse. So please just slow down and use extreme caution. Okay. So that's it for now. I'll be back on your TV tomorrow morning at WNKY News 40 on NBC and CBS, with sunrise at 6 a.m., then 9 a.m., and then noon. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for watching 270 Weather, and I'll see you later.